Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're looking at something a little different, actually.
Oh, what's that?
It's a children's story called Bird's Adventurous Migration about Benny the Bluebird.
Okay. Interesting source. So a kid story to understand bird migration.
Exactly. It sounds simple, but it's a surprisingly useful way in. Our mission really is to get the basics of this amazing natural thing through Benny's rather unexpected trip.
Right. It's funny how sometimes these simpler narratives, they really touch on the core reasons behind complex stuff like migration.
Totally. We usually picture migration as just, point A to point B.
Uh-huh. Fly south, fly north,
Yeah.
straight line.
Yeah, but Benny's story kind of shows the purpose, but also like all the things that can happen along the way, the detours.
So let's get into it. Who is Benny?
So Benny's this young bluebird,
Yeah.
right? And it's his very first migration. He's with the Featherfield flock.
Got it. Safety in numbers.
And the plan, according to the leader, Captain Beakley, is just fly north. Simple. For worms. The best worms, apparently. And, finding places to build nests.
Ah, the classic spring migration reasons. Food and family.
Pretty much. Benny's ready to go, V formation, the whole deal. Seems straightforward.
But I get the feeling it doesn't stay straightforward for Benny.
Not at all. That's where it gets fun. He somehow gets separated, and instead of flying north, he ends up, well, doing some weird stuff.
Like what?
Like, playing beach volleyball with flamingos.
Chuckling. Okay, flamingos, that's definitely off the standard Bluebird route.
Then he gets his feathers styled in a wind tunnel.
Feather styling.
Yep. And wins an award, Best Flying Accessory at a hot air balloon festival.
Wow. He really went off track. It's quite the adventure.
It's hilarious, but then, the inevitable happens. He looks around and, oops.
He's lost. Completely lost.
Totally. No flock, no Captain Beakley, just Benny. But this is where it gets kind of interesting because he starts meeting other characters.
Ah, the helpful strangers trope. Who does he meet?
Well, there's a turtle in a hang glider.
A turtle in a hang glider
Right.
who tells him slow and floaty wins the race. Which is not exactly the migration vibe, is it?
Definitely not. Migration's usually about efficiency, timing, not floating.
Then there's a parrot who speaks in riddles. And, importantly, Daisy the duck.
And what's Daisy's take?
Daisy suggests migration is more of an adventure, not just a race to get somewhere.
That's a nice perspective. Shifts the focus from just the destination. But wait, you mentioned flying north earlier. Why north in the spring?
Oh, right. Good question. Well, I think the idea is as it warms up in the north, you get like a big boom in insects.
The worms Benny's after.
Exactly. Crucial food for them and, for feeding chicks later. Plus, longer daylight hours up north means more time to find that food.
Makes sense. Resource availability, breeding opportunities. That's the core biological driver, even in the story. Okay, so Benny's had his fun, got some characters. How does he get back on track?
It's actually quite sweet. He follows a smell.
The smell.
Yeah, the smell of, wait for it, springworms and flour pancakes. It's
Hey.
laughing. Flour pancakes.
Okay. Hey, it's a kid's story. But Daisy helps him follow this scent, this sensory cue, and it leads him back towards Featherfield North.
And what happens when he finally gets there? Is Captain Beakley annoyed?
Not really. Beakley just says, you took the scenic route.
Understatement of the year.
And Benny's just proud. He says it was the best detour ever.
Which really loops back to Daisy's point, doesn't it? About the journey itself.
It does, and while Benny's adventures are, let's be honest, pretty out there,
Uh-huh. Beach volleyball isn't standard.
it does make you think. Even in real migration, things don't always go to plan, right? Like unexpected weather.
Absolutely. Storms, strong winds, they can blow birds way off course. They face real challenges and deviations. Benny's story is a playful take on that possibility of getting lost and finding your way again.
So the story leaves us with some nice little takeaways. Like, even if you get lost, you can find a path.
Right, and learning from experiences, even the mistakes, the detours,
Yeah.
that's part of growth.
And that the journey, the scenic route, can be just as rewarding, maybe even more so sometimes, than just reaching the finish line.
Precisely. Connecting it back to the real science, bird migration is fundamentally driven by survival. Finding food, finding safe places to breed as the seasons change. Birds travel incredible distances for these basic needs.
So Benny's fantastical trip still mirrors that core need, just with added flamingos and pancakes.
Chuckles, exactly. It reminds us that even within these big, essential drives, there's room for the unexpected, for learning, for, well, adventure.
It really makes you think, doesn't it, about our own lives?
It does. So here's something for you listening to consider. Think about your own journeys. Have you ever taken an unexpected detour, maybe gotten a bit lost, literally or metaphorically?
Yeah, like a time things didn't go according to plan.
Exactly. What did you learn from that scenic route? Could it be that those unexpected twists actually led to something valuable, some insight you wouldn't have found otherwise? Something to mull over?